Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Beers by the Ivy. Today we're going to talk about the college football landscape, college football bracket, college football playoffs, forecasting who's going to win, who's going to lose, that kind of gist. But I just want to say before I kind of get going here, thanks for everyone who subscribed on YouTube. Thanks for everyone who followed and listening on the podcast, Apple and Spotify. Really appreciate the support. I know it's just, especially starting on YouTube, like people have to click the button to subscribe, and it's people are way more likely to click the button when you have 10,000 subscribers. When you got like 40 subscribers, it's just hard. Like your content has to be good and people have to like your content. So just really appreciate people leap of faith to subscribe to this channel. I'm going to keep bringing it. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to this video. So let's go ahead and jump into it. Today, once again, bracket, let's talk about it. It's so funny. Like I keep focusing on top 10 teams, or I have my top 10, but I haven't looked at the bracket. And then you put the teams on the bracket, you're like, oh my gosh, here we go. Why we have automatic bids? I don't like automatic bids. It just doesn't make any sense. Put the top 4 teams in for a bye. Don't give the ACC a bye. Don't give Big 12 a bye. Not even Big 10 or Big 10 or SEC a bye. Best 4 teams get the byes. That's how it should work. It's how it works in the NFL. It's how it should work in college football. I understand we want to make the conference championship worth something, but come on. Best 4 teams should get a bye. Miami, should they get a bye? I don't think so. I don't think they're good enough to get a bye. They're not even in my top 10. BYU, maybe make an argument they're in the top 5. We'll do it. We'll try. But still, I don't know. In this season, are they going to be in top 5? They're not in my top 5 right now. Aye. All right, so let's jump into my top 13 though, and we're going to break down each team. But yeah, let me go ahead and read it off. Top 13 teams. Number 1, Oregon. 2, Ohio State. 3, Texas. 4, IU. My school. Let's go. Smoking Six Netty. Number 5, Tennessee. 6, Bama. 7, BYU. 8, Ole Miss. 9, Notre Dame. 10, Penn State. 11, Georgia. 12, Miami. And 13, Boise State. Statue of Liberty, baby. Boise State. All right, let's jump into kind of like breaking down like each team and kind of why I have it ranked the way I have it ranked. And I think this is good, right? We forget like who these teams beat. Like it's unless you really write it down, like you kind of forget like who's playing who and what was the past history. You just look at the rankings like the week before, but it's good to have some context to kind of predict rankings in the future here. So let's jump into it. Oregon, best win. Ohio State, the forgotten best win. Boise State. They beat Boise State like one of the first games of the season. So that is looking like a really good win. That's why they have the hardest strength of schedule. But yeah, Oregon, what do we keep saying? I said it like 15 times on this channel. They are the best coach team in college football. Best coach team in college football. They have an awesome stadium, awesome jerseys. Hard team to root against, honestly. Hard team to root against. All right, 2, Ohio State. Best wins, Penn State. Other than that, nothing much going. Penn State, best win. Close loss to Oregon at home. I think everyone's giving them a pass. Hey, they put up a good fight. If Oregon and Ohio State play again, what happens? I think that's why I have them 1 and 2. Right? That's why Ohio State's 2, because I feel like maybe if it's on a neutral site, maybe if it was at the shoe, maybe Ohio State wins that game. But nonetheless, they lost, so they're number 2. 3 is Texas. And the more and more I dive into it, the more and more I get worried about me putting Texas at number 3. This is their best wins. Michigan and Oklahoma, who's 5 and 5. They're lost. Georgia. And Georgia, I mean, that's a good loss, right? That's a good loss. Georgia can easily get back in the top 10 for me with the win this weekend. But Texas, they look really good off the bus. You see them off the bus, you see them in warm-ups, and you're like, wow, they're huge. They're absolutely huge. They got the, star quarterback, Ewers, and they got the star backup quarterback, Manning, and they got the coach who's hot right now, and it's Texas with really good history. The question is, can these guys play football? Can these guys play tough playoff football where you're beating teams all in a row? Because this is now the basketball tournament. You got to beat a couple teams in a row here. You can't just beat, Oklahoma and then play, someone small and then play Georgia and lose and then play someone, who's bad again, and then bad again, and then bad again. No, this is every single team you're going to play in that bracket is a good football team. Back to back to back. Can Texas do it? Unknown. IU. All right. So I was actually at IU. So this may be a little bit me rumbling and rolling here, but IU, man, guys, that stadium was rocking. That environment's rocking. Tailgating at IU is like giant. It goes like 3/4 of a mile both directions, and it's just a huge tailgate scene. And the fans were just going absolutely nuts. It's only 52,000 stadium, but geez, it was loud. I could hear from like almost a mile away. It was freaking loud and rocking. But yeah, let's just jump into it, right? Best wins: Michigan, Nebraska, Washington. Am I biased? Yeah, but let's just talk about these wins in detail. Nebraska, first time IU was on national television. Nebraska had pretty good steam when we were playing them, right? There's thought that maybe Nebraska was going to be like the 4th or 5th best team in the Big Ten. IU win and just like beat them like 53-7 on national television. It's freaking awesome. All right, and then Washington, right? Next week, game day. First time in the school's history. All this distractions. Oh, backup quarterback too. Smash Washington. And then last week, Michigan. And you could say, oh, they played Michigan too close. Dude, when you've lost to a school for like 25 years in a row, it's like a mind thing. There's like psychology. And to overcome the team that was unbeatable is tough. And once again, we started with new IU football. And we had a really good first half. And then we come out and we start with old IU football. And then we picked it up, right? We had that really good punt return, strong 42-yard field goal, couple defensive stops, ran the ball, got a couple first downs to close off the game. That's toughness. That's character win. And I loved everything about it. That's why I got them number 4. They can move the ball. Their offense is great. And if Oregon is the best coach team in college football, IU's the best led team in college football. I did a full breakdown of how is Kirk Cignetti winning, what's his secret sauce, and it's fundamental great leadership. Check it out on my YouTube channel. I will link it after this video ends. But yeah, Smoking Cignetti, Sig 10, here we go. They're my number 4 team. All right, 5, Tennessee, best win, Bama. Strong win. Really, really strong win there in Oklahoma, 5-5. They didn't really have anyone else, right? So Oklahoma's just a big name, so I put them in there. And then worst loss, Arkansas. That's an embarrassing loss. That's a terrible loss. How good is Tennessee? I honestly don't know. I always think they're going to lose, and then they go out and they beat Bama, and I'm like, damn, maybe they are actually good. Maybe they are good. Maybe their quarterback isn't bad. Maybe their coach is a good coach. The environment's amazing, right? Knoxville, that's a cool campus. Rocky Talk or whatever it's called, like that's a cool place. Badass. I love it. But can their football team win consistently? I don't know. Because I don't think we've ever seen it. But they play Georgia this week. Biggest game of the week. Biggest game of their season. They win this, penciled in, they're in the playoffs. But yeah, we'll see. Bama, 5. Okay. I love their quarterback. Jaden Milroe? Hope I'm saying his name right. The dude's just a winner, and honestly, if Bam was just a little bit better, or if he would have transferred, he probably won the Heisman Trophy. The dude is so solid. All right, let's talk about their wins. Pretty impressive schedule, actually. Georgia, that was a giant win. What a game. Maybe the best college football game of the season so far. Wisconsin, hey, you beat a Big Ten team. You played a Big Ten team for once, Alabama. Shout out you. LSU, last weekend, solid win. Destroyed them at home. I think LSU is the best home environment. Absolutely nuts. Really cool place, too. And then Missouri, don't forget about Missouri. They've had a pretty decent season, too. Good coach over there. But let's talk about the losses. Tennessee, not the worst loss, right? And then Vanderbilt. But I really like Melrose. I think you get him in the playoffs. He's dangerous. And I hope Bama makes the playoffs because I want to see what this team's got. All right, BYU, number 7. Wow. I thought they didn't play anyone. Well, they actually have a couple of ranked teams here, right? So, oh, wait, hold on. They haven't lost yet, have they? This is wrong. My bad, guys. All right, BYU here. Who they beat? Yeah, SMU 13. So they have SMU and they beat Kansas State. SMU's ranked 13. Kansas State's 22nd. Not bad, right? Solid quarterback. Honestly, one of the coolest stadiums ever in the mountains. But yeah, how good is BYU? I don't know. I'd love to see them play an SEC school. I'd love to see them play a Big Ten school. But hey, guess what? They're undefeated. They got 2 ranked teams. Big 12, they're leading it. Is what it is. Number 7. I don't think they should get a playoff bye unless they're, in the top 4. But nonetheless, BYU. I have a guy on my TikTok who's like a diehard BYU fan. He's always commenting. Shout out that guy. All right. Ole Miss, best win. Georgia. Loss. LSU overtime. And they also lost to Kentucky. I don't really know what to do with Ole Miss. Sometimes I think they're good. They're like the Tennessee. They're the same thing with Tennessee. Sometimes I think they're good. Sometimes I think they're terrible. I have no idea. Someone comment. You tell me if they're good. All right, Notre Dame, Louisville, Texas A&M. Texas A&M I think is ranked 15. So that's actually becoming a pretty good win. And then, of course, terrible loss, Northern Illinois. They're going to put Notre Dame in. We always knew they were going to put Notre Dame in. Notre Dame really didn't play anyone all season. They're a giant fan base, giant TV. They're going to be in. Penn State, I don't like Penn State at all. I think James Franklin should be fired. Made a whole video about it. I don't know what guy can go 3-17 in the top 10 and not get fired. I don't know what guy can go 1-10 to Ohio State and not get fired. All these Penn State fans are like sticking up for him too. The guy's a loser. His whole motto of like being a tough guy, dude, you lose on the scoreboard. How tough are you? You lose to Ohio State, Michigan every single year, James Franklin. Are you tough now? Really? Are you tough now? Auto loss every single year. Can't throw the ball. Can't move the ball. Can't get 3 first downs. You either get one giant play and score from that, or you don't score and you punt. Do they usually have a good defense? Yeah, their defense, especially their defensive ends, are pretty solid. But yeah, Penn State, I don't believe in them, and I'm hoping IU plays Penn State in the playoffs here. Georgia could easily go back to number 5 next week. It's just they've lost to Bama and Ole Miss. Like, I'm dealing with these like teams like SEC's just beating each other up. But they got Texas. That's a really good win. And they got Clemson. That's a pretty good win. So, like, it's just like, man, how good is Georgia? What's the difference between Georgia, Ole Miss, and Bama? What's the difference between Texas and Georgia? I guess Texas won, right? But still, like, all these teams, like, man, it's hard to not put Georgia in, quite frankly. If they beat If they beat if they beat Tennessee this weekend, they should be in. I think they will get in if they beat Tennessee, because I think Tennessee will drop, because I think Georgia's just schedule is just harder. All right, Miami beat Louisville, ranked 25, lost to Georgia Tech last weekend. They went from like 5 in my rankings to back to 12 because they got proved that they are fake, in my opinion. So, I don't know. I just don't trust anyone from the ACC. So, they're 12. But we know they're going to win the ACC, and they're going to be ranked number 4, and they're going to get that playoff bid. Boise State, ranked. They beat Washington State 20, and they lost to Oregon, which is a pretty good loss, 37-34. So, if you can lose to Oregon, the number 1 team, 37-34, then maybe you're a good club. Maybe you're a good football team. I don't know. All right, let's jump into kind of like my playoff predictions here. This is taking all the rankings and essentially putting them on paper. And we'll just talk through each game. So once again, we're going to, Oregon's going to get a bye. Texas is going to get a bye. BYU's going to get a bye. Miami's going to get a bye on my current rankings. But then we have our matchups. Boise State, Ohio State, Bama, Ole Miss, Penn State, Indiana, Notre Dame, Tennessee. Wow. What a slate of football. Boise State versus Ohio State, those are both like running gun offenses. That would be a great game. Bama, Ole Miss, that'd be Lane Kiffin, like comeback game. Like that would be a badass game. Penn State, Indiana, give me that game. Give me that game. IU will take care of business against Penn State. Notre Dame, Tennessee. I don't really like either of these schools, especially Notre Dame. So I'll be rooting for Tennessee just because I feel like their campus and the Rocky Talk, like, it just seems like a cool vibe over there. Notre Dame's cool too, but Tennessee's way cooler. All right, so then I got Ohio State winning. I got Bama winning, beating Ole Miss. I got Penn State losing to Indiana, go IU. And then I have Tennessee beating Notre Dame. I have then Ohio State beating Miami. Bama losing to Oregon. Indiana beating BYU. This is going to be incredible. Indiana gets 2 playoff wins. But yeah, I think Indiana can beat BYU. Why not? That's kind of a lucky draw, honestly, if Indiana plays Penn State and then plays BYU. That's pretty much as easy as it gets in this bracket, for them at least. And then Texas beating Tennessee. And then we have Ohio State versus Oregon. That's a complete toss-up game. I just think that Oregon won the last time. Ohio State's going to win this time. And then I have Indiana, Texas, and I have Texas winning. And then national championship, Ohio State versus Texas, I have Ohio State. Once again, I feel like Ohio State just more dynamic and less fake. Sometimes I think Texas is fake. They're off the bus looking good, but they don't play real football. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. But long story short, I mean, give me Ohio State or Oregon on the national championship. That's my guess. But, we'll see. We'll see if Georgia gets in here. See if Georgia beats Tennessee this weekend. Then they get in the playoff. They're dangerous. They're a dark horse. I'm not going to ever sell out. I'm never going to, say Bama can't win. Bama's always a tough football team. New coach or Saban, doesn't matter, right? Tough football team, especially with Melrose leading the way down there. So, really exciting times. I don't like the bye, but other than that, this is what we want as college football fans. This is exactly what we wanted for college football fans. Look how great this is. I said it twice already on this video. You got to beat multiple good teams in a row. And that is so rare in the college football landscape. Especially this late in the season, too. Wow. This is going to be an absolute rocket ship. All right, guys. Thanks for checking out this video. I sell these hats. They're Beers by the Ivy hats. Check them out. I have it in the Wrigley color and then the Beers by the Ivy color. They're freaking awesome. So if you buy one, thanks for the support. I'll send you a hat, obviously, and with a note, a thank you note. So, yeah, definitely check out my shop below. But yeah, subscribe. Appreciate the support. Talk soon, everyone. And yeah, we'll keep it going. Thanks all.